welcome to the Global Primatology Virtual Conference hosted by Central Washington University. My name is Courtney Garzone, and I will be moderating the session today. This session is with Nirmal Nath, he, him, and it will last until 1:30. Before we start, I wanted to let you know that this session will be recorded, so if you do not wish to be recorded, then you may turn off your camera. Additionally, to make this a fun learning experience for everyone involved, I'm going to request that we all follow a couple of session rules. One mic, one voice, only one person will speak at a time. Respect all identities. This includes pronouns, nationalities, ethnic groups, etc. This is a safe space. Don't feel discouraged. We are all welcome to engage and ask questions. One question only, out of respect for others and time. Please just stick to asking one question. Only speak for yourself and no one else. No name calling or derogatory comments, questions, or any kind. Failure to comply with this will result in your termination from the session. Please keep the chat clear of traffic. Only use it to propose questions. And now that we're all on the same page, it is my pleasure to introduce Nirmal. He's a very passionate and interesting person coming to us from India. I'm really excited for him to get to share more about his life and his research interests with you. So without further ado, Nirmal, you're on.
Yeah. Thank you, Courtney, for such a beautiful introduction. And yes, it's pretty late at night here. It's 1 a.m. in the morning in India. So I guess you all are comfortable there. So it's good for me too, because I'm a night person. So, and before we start, I would like to say that you need not to note anything, because I doubt that there would be anything worth to note. Yeah, let's make it worth noting down. So let's make it a good discussion. So also, I would like to say that I would not be presenting any kind of statistical data or evidence in the form of pictures or videos, because the project I worked on is currently ongoing, and ethically I'm not allowed to present it in a conference. So I hope you understand that. And my presentation would be basically having two main sections. The first section would be about my research experience and what I did and what I learned. And after that, I would be sharing my research interests, which I would like to pursue as my doctoral program, or if I get to work. So yeah, let's begin. Yeah, let me just share the presentation with you. Yeah, please let me know if you see these slides. Yeah. So yeah, that picture is actually from a beach. It's in the Great Nicobar Islands. So let me begin. So I welcome you all, and we are often said, and we often hear that proverb that the curiosity kills the cat. But me growing up, it was like I was not having some specific skill set, or any kind of like high IQ levels to get to know about things, but I was simply just curious to know about things. So, and what made me very curious were the transformations, and when you see a thing, a metal transforming into a tool, or let me show you this, a wheat transforming into a tortilla or a bread. So these things are very simple but astounding in nature. If we go out and we take a loaf of bread for some dollars, but we actually don't think about it. From the journey from the wheat to a loaf of bread cost humanity 1 million of years of hard cognitive intelligence. So I think if we start looking at things like that, we get more curious, and we might understand things and look at them specifically because they're special. Because as simple as it gets, it's not as simple as it is. It is actually very extraordinary how things work. So I guess you get that analogy. So there I landed on nature, because transformations, as we see, humans did it much later, but nature did it much earlier, like from a single cell organism to a more complex human beings like we are. So it is yeah, it was basically the transformation I was very curious about. So I landed on the topic. So the main question I was very curious about, why evolution can't go backwards. So eventually I landed on the idea of irreversibility. So that I guess it answered my question, but it was not quite enough for me to satisfy myself. So I went on with the quest of understanding why it can't be like that. The evolution can go backwards and all. So rest of it, let, let it stay like that. So yeah, so till now, so I opted anthropology as my as a subject in my graduation years, and I completed my master's in 2019 in anthropology from University of Delhi, India. And it was very beautiful because as a subject anthropology, we have a definition like how holistic approach works, but it is as holistic as it gets when you think about it. Because I have a saying that I always say to people: a smartphone is only smart if the person holding it is smart enough. So it's like, if you're reading the subject and you're able to connect with things, you're able to collect it holistically, then only it will mean something. Otherwise, it won't. So yeah, my curiosity landed me on anthropology, and my anthropological experience with everything, not specifically in primatology, but in all over my life, I'm able to connect with things differently uh, when I apply anthropology to it. And this is, I guess, what we do when we are drowning in a subject, and we are getting more knowledge about it. So let us come to another point, that why I chose primatology and why I chose primate as the prime species of choice. It was just as simple as that, because I was just curious. Because if we look at a dog and if you look at a cat, we can't understand the expressions. We can't really connect to them until and unless we spend a lot of time with them. But when we see a monkey, and we see a monkey looking at us in our eyes, we can essentially tell what a monkey is probably thinking. So yeah, it was it was very anthropogenic idea, because I was able to connect with them. And yeah, I would like to share a story, because when I was in my sixth grade, I got bitten by a monkey. So what I was doing, the monkey was tied with a chain. It was a sub-adult. It was a sub-adult rhesus macaque. So I was teasing him. And he was getting all aggressive. And I was not understanding it, because I was a kid. I was having fun with it. But my father was there, and in India, we have a notion we see monkeys as God, because we have Hanuman as a monkey god in India. So we see monkeys as God. So he had a ritual of feeding monkeys on the day of Tuesday. So he was going to feed some peanuts to the monkey. So when he was feeding him, I got curious. So I went and I tried to feed the monkey. And apart from eating peanuts, he ate my thumb. So yeah, so it was very hard to get off that. I was all crying, but after that, I got it that I pissed the monkey off. But yes, I was curious because if we tease a kid, he doesn't bite your thumb off. Then why a monkey bites your thumb off? Yeah. So at that time I was a kid, but when I grew up, I
So
tried.
you get
Sorry?
sound.
Sound this time.
All set, just some feedback. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. So yeah, so that's how things worked for me, because I was still curious for the monkey. Then I used to visit the monkey again and again, but he was still very aggressive towards me. So I was like, why not? We can't be on a good terms. So it was like that. So yes, that was my first experience. It was horrible, but yeah, it was my first experience with a primate. So that's how I connect with primatology, I guess, because I connect with the monkeys, and there is nothing extraordinary with it. But I would just like to work. Then I read a lot about the three prime women who works on chimps, orangutan, and gorillas. Miss Diana Fossey, Jane Goodall, and Birut Kalika. So yeah, I was like, why no man is there? Because women are so good to connect with animals. I don't know why, but yeah, the thought just popped into my mind, so I thought I should share it. So let me let me just start sharing my experience with you. So as you can see in the side, I've written the sacred Nicobar. So let me explain it to you. The sacredness of it lies there because it's cut off from the mainlands, and it's cut off like that because you don't have food to eat what you desire for, you don't have connectivity, you don't have internet, you don't have expensive medical facilities, you don't have any source of entertainment. Like it's like you go 20 years back in digitalization. So there are some spots on the island where you can get the phone network, and you can just get them for 10 minutes because everybody on the island is there waiting for their turn to call. And it's usually a high ground on the island where you climb up on a hill and you call the person. And if you have a satellite phone, because we didn't have the privilege of satellite phone, so yeah. So ecology is basically, it's all covered with the Andaman rainforest, and it's pretty dense forest. Let me tell you this, because if it's the morning and you are in the forest, you won't be able to see a thing because the canopy is so dense, the sunlight never penetrates and it hits the ground. So it's, yeah, it's a dense rainforest. And most of the people, nearly 65 of the 65% of the population there, they are the Nicobarese tribe, and yeah, and the Shonpins, and the rest are after 2004 tsunami. You must have heard of it. After 2004 tsunami of Great Nicobar Islands, people migrated to Great Nicobar Islands from Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kolkata, and other parts of mainland in India. So whole population comprised of a mixture. So as if I talk about the sacredness of culture, it's not so sacred, but yeah, if you look at the Great Nicobar Islands as a whole, it is pretty cut off from the main civilization. So whatever you can think of, like political movements like gender equality and major events going on the mainland in mainland India, it doesn't affect it because they have no connectivity with the island, or very less connectivity, I should rephrase it. So yeah, you get the food, you get fresh vegetables. If you have a ship coming, and there is a ship coming after every week, so we used to get the vegetables which are at least a week or 10 days old. So yeah, so it's like that, and resources are are bizarre. So it's like you are living in a jungle and you don't have anything to eat. It's like Bear Grylls and The Man versus Wild. So it was pretty much like that, but at least we had the sleeping bag. We didn't have to sleep on branches and all. But yeah, survival. Talking about survival, it is pretty tough there, because if if I didn't had to work there, I probably wouldn't spend 4 months there, because for 4 days it's like all heavenly, it's all nature. I'm in lap of nature and I'm enjoying all this. But after 4 days, when I don't have internet, I don't have my pizza, or I don't have the things I desire for, I start hating it. Even the beauty is there, it start killing me. So yeah, so that's about Nicobar, what I felt. So this is a picture. This is how actually this is just a template from the PowerPoint presentation. So it's not the actual picture. This is the actual picture which I'm showing you. So this is how the south coast of Great Nicobar Island look like. So it's not as beautiful as it looks, because there is nothing you can think of which would fulfill your desire until and unless you want to cut off yourself from the civilization. So yeah, so let me move on to the next section. So we in the monkey kingdom. So when we first visited the Great Nicobar Islands, it was very beautiful. It was a beautiful experience, because in my life I had never been to a flight, I had never been to a ship. So it was a very beautiful experience for me because, and other, I was very experimental about it because I was not knowing if I'm sick to uh, flights or I might get seasickness. So so it came out pretty good. I don't have any of that. So yes, so so when we first visited the Great Nicobar Islands, we started looking for the monkeys. So on our way to our camping site, there were some groups. So there, you actually, when you go to the island, you locate where the prime monkey population which you want to study is there. But at first it was very hard for us because there were so many monkeys. In my life I had never seen a group such big as the and let me tell you that these are the Nicobar long-tailed macaques, and the scientific name for it is Macaca fascicularis ambrosus. So this is a divergent species from the crab-eating macaques, which you find in Indonesia and the other South Asian islands. So yes, so there were monkeys all around, and we were just trying to figure out what is the territory overlapping, and what is the family tree of the monkeys, where do they forage actually. So let me make this clear for you. The area, it's like the paths diverging into the woods. There is no plain area on the island where you can go and sit, have a sunbath. It's not like that. It's like there are roads diverging into the rainforest, and the only thing clear is that road. So just to explore the jungle or to find anything, you have to move into that jungle. And that jungle is very dark. And as you can see, these monkeys are pretty grayish black in color. So it is very hard to locate them even in the morning, to locate them into that dense forest. So we had a very hard time looking into it. So yes. So the project title was the Tool Use and Object Manipulation, and the funding bodies were International Primatological Society and the Leakey Foundation and Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Mohali, India. So the project is currently going on, and the project investigator Jayashree Majumdar was there with me. She is still working on the project. So on the island, there are two primate species. One are the human beings, and other are these macaques, and no other primate species is there. So what is beautiful there in that ecological setting is how these two primate species are coexisting together, because on the island there are coconut plantations, and which are the prime source of livelihood of the Nicobarese people who are indigenous to that area, and it is the only prime source of food for the monkeys. So both primate species they're fighting for the same source of food. So let me tell you this. So there are specific programs for the farmers, for the coconut farmers, that tell them how to counter these problems with monkeys, because if you plant a coconut tree, the monkeys will come and they'll eat it all up, and you won't be having anything after a year to sell. So exactly, so when they plant the trees, they plant it at least 20 feet apart, because if you imagine a coconut tree, it's all bushy on the top and all slender till the bottom. So monkeys jump from one tree to another just to reach to the other tree. So if the trees are apart enough, they won't be able to jump from one tree to another. So that's how they counter the population. So if a monkey has to eat a tree coconut from a different tree, so they have to climb down and they walk onto other tree and they climb up and they eat it again, because as far as I see monkeys, they don't want to be on a single tree. They just eat food and leave it half eaten, and then go on to another food source and then eat it and then leave it. It's all like that. You know how it is. So it's like a curious kid who wants to taste everything. So yeah, they counter these problem like this, that monkeys eating all their harvest. And there was another thing which was like very beautiful to know, because the monkeys are acting as a parasite for the population there, because the coconut plantation was the prime source of livelihood. and they were not ready to sacrifice it. So what they did, they planted a separate plantation just for the monkeys, which was in their area, just because monkeys could get access to the coconut and feed themselves. And when I asked, why did you do it? They said, if the monkeys won't eat, how would they survive? So it was very considerate of them for the monkeys. So they actually did it. So we witnessed that there were two plantations. In one, it was all chaotic, it was not organized, it was just for the monkeys. And the other plantation was all organized, which was actually the harvest to sell the coconuts and all. So yeah, and as we all know, monkeys and humans have so much similarity, and one of those similarities is the sweet tooth. Like, we love the coconut water and we love the pulp in it, and so do they. So yeah, it was like, because apart from coconut on the island, you don't have anything else to eat. Even if you are a carnivore, you won't get enough meat to eat on the island. So yes, this was the main problem there. So this is me working hard enough to just get a picture. The hours were very hectic, because in the morning we used to wake up. We used to wake up at 3:45 or 4, and we used to move toward the family tree and wait for the monkeys to move from there. And yeah, then we follow them wherever they grow. They go from the trees, and we used to follow them on the rough terrain. And the weather of the island, it's pretty bizarre, because you don't know when it is going to rain. Yeah, it's very sunny, and after 10 minutes it's going to rain, and after 10 minutes it will stop, and the rain might not stop even after 7 days. So you have to be prepared for it. So we used to have the raincoat, and we always used to wear the raincoat, because we were not knowing that our expensive instrument will be able to save them if we don't wear a raincoat. So yeah, so so that was just a thing to share. Yes, and this is my whole team. You can see me here. This is how you get when you don't groom yourself for 4 months on a bizarre island. Yes, and this was SSV Kiran from Kerala, from, sorry, Andhra Pradesh in India. She is Jayashree Majumdar, the principal investigator of the project, and she is uh, Diksha Diksha from Mumbai. So yeah, so we made a pretty good team. This picture was taken on the Kachhal Island. So as you can see behind us, this is the only clear path on which we are standing, and on the both sides of the road there is jungle. There is nothing else you can see of. So yes, so this is my team, and they were pretty good acquaintances, and yeah. So let me extend this. So this is how big a coconut gets there. Yes, she is my she is the principal investigator of the project. This is how big the coconut harvested there gets. I don't know. In the plains we get small coconuts, but there in the wild it grows so big. You have 1.5 to 2 liters average of coconut water in that coconuts. So, and it was for free. So we were very happy that we are there, because we never used to carry our bottles and go there, because each and every day there was some person harvesting the coconut, and we just used to ask, can we have that coconut water? And they were very happy to share it with us. So yeah, so let me walk you through the basic idea of the research project which we explored there. And what we found was truly surprising, because are you able to read it? Yeah, that I was not able to peel the coconut, yeah, with a machete. So let me show you a picture. This was me. Uh, I was trying to peel, uh, just take the pulp off the coconut. It was pretty hard, even with the machete, because the coconut shell, it was too hard. Even if it was fresh, and I climbed up the tree, and I took it from the tree, and I was and it took me nearly 10 to 15 minutes to chop that coconut, just to eat a little bit piece from it. Yeah, but I guess the monkeys are pretty smart at it, because for me it was not survival, it was for me just an adventure. And when things come to survival, you do extraordinary things, I guess. So yeah, let me share this. Yeah, So there we go. That what goes inside a monkey's mind. See, you keep yourself in that position. I would like you to think that you are in a position and you have a coconut in your hand. What would you do? You have nothing to open it, you have nothing to peel it, you just have your teeth. So you just think, and when you think like that, you can think like a monkey, because you'll start exploring. You'll start pounding it somewhere else. You start peeling off the skin of the coconut from your teeth and all. Monkeys did it there. So three main things what I observed there was when to peel a coconut. If you try to peel a coconut when it is all dried out, the outer skin, it is so hard like a rock, you won't be even able to break it with a machete. You would probably need a chainsaw to do it. But yeah, it is very hard. So let me tell you this: when there is a coconut tree on the coastal side of area, and somehow the coconut gets into the water, so it's an ocean and it's a salt water. So after some days, the coconut again gets thrown off the shore, and all it is puffed up with that salt water. So the outer skin, it gets all squishy, and it gets like like a foam. So it is very easy to peel, and it's very easy to take the coconut shell from inside. But the catch is that the coconut shell is still hard. You still have to break it just in order to eat it. And if you wait long enough to break it, the coconut, the pulp inside it is already rotten, and you won't be able to eat it. So yeah, so this was the case with monkeys. So thinking like a monkey, I don't know I can think like them or not, but I guess they must be thinking like this. So how to counter this problem, because they can't go on eating that rotten coconut pulp. So they started peeling it pretty extensively. They used to give 20-25 minutes to each coconut, and they used to eat around 4 to 5 coconuts per day to get enough of the food. But yeah, so they changed the game. And how they changed the game, and it's very extraordinary, and it's very, sorry, yeah, it's very extraordinary uh, to share this, because I was not able to think of it, because I was trying to think of it a way, how to get the coconut, how to get the food so easily. So what they did, they learned that a mature coconut and a premature coconut are pretty different in their morphology. A premature coconut has a milky endosperm, and it's not hard. The shell is not yet formed. So they just have to peel it off and drink all that milky fluid out from it. So when they learned it, there were very less instances of breaking down a coconut and just collecting the scraps. So they just went on eating all that premature coconuts, and there was hardly a tree which they left, because it's very tasty when you eat a coconut milk. So it's like that. So so from 5 coconuts per day, they went on to 15 to 20 premature coconuts. So yeah, obviously they were devastating, they were destroying the harvest there. But yeah, in order to feed themselves, I guess it was pretty good for them. Yeah. and i was and I was just thinking about it. How could a monkey think like that? Because we know about it, because we know science, we know things, we know how botany works, we know how things work, and it's all experimental. It's all nothing else. It's like a kid who has never been to an engineering college, but he worked at a mechanic shop. So he knows more than an engineering student about the cars. So it's like that, I guess, because they experimented with it, and they had the prime force in the universe, which is called survival, I guess. So for the survival, they learned it. So I guess this is pretty clear till now. Am I clear? So yes. So let me move on to next. Yeah. So this is how our field looked like. So sometimes it's all it's like some I'm remembering the road not taken from these pictures. So I took the less traveled one, and one was already traveled. So yeah, the field was like that. Sometimes you were not knowing where I was keeping my feet. So there was one incident when we were actually following the monkeys, and we were not able to see anything. And after 50 meters, it was we were nowhere because our GPS stopped working. There were no signal, and then in that jungle, monkeys became so aggressive, and because we were so close to their family tree, and they charged on us. And we had camera in one hand, and in other hand we had the binocular, and we were just running blindly in the jungle. And after after a run for 5 minutes, we were lost in the jungle, and it took us 3.5 hours to come out of the jungle. Yeah, so yeah, we were pretty bad with directions, but yeah, it was how it was like in the field. So some paths were smooth and leading, but some just led us nowhere. It was as simple as that. So let me keep it this way. So yeah, so this is this person here. This is actually Kiran, one of the volunteers of our project. So this is the south coast of the island, because we never had a break. We never okay, I need to share this, because we used to work each and every day. We were not having any Saturdays or Sundays, or yes, we are not in a mood of doing it. So yeah, so it was pretty much 8 to 10 hours of work from 3:30 to 4:30 in the morning, and till in the afternoon it's 2:30. Yeah, so it was that long. And we we used to pack our lunch, and we used to pack our breakfast in the field, and we used to eat it there, and we used to be sacred about it, because we never wanted monkeys to see us feeding ourselves. So yeah, it was good. So this is actually a day. This was actually a day when we went out fishing. It was the last day of our field, so we went out fishing, not with a fishing rod. We were having long nets, and we were just like hitchhiking for the fishes. It was not very fruitful. We didn't catch anything. We just caught a poor crab, and we ate it. So sorry for the vegans here. Yeah. So yeah, we ate that poor crab. So yeah. So so I have made this according to how we adjust to a field, how we adjust. What do you see when you what do you feel like when you actually go to a field, or you go not to a field, you go to a new place? You think about food, because it's a prime thing. You get hungry. We eat 4 times to 5 times a day. So the food was pretty limited, because we never got anything. For me personally, I used to follow a very strict diet. I used to go to gym and all the things. But on the field, you saw my pictures, how I got all bulky and fluffy, just because of the food, because we had nothing to eat there. No leafy vegetables. On the name of leafy vegetables, we only got cabbage. For 4 months, we had cabbage, because it is the only vegetable which can survive for 10 days in a ship. Because if the spinach will rot, and every other vegetable. And there was one other vegetable which was, yeah, eggplant. Yeah, eggplant was there. So brinjal, I guess, I don't know, I'm saying it right. Eggplant and brinjal are the same thing, na? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so brinjal was there, and all we got was, yeah, the fish was very fresh. Every day we used to get the fresh fish. So personally, I never liked fish, but yeah, I acquired the taste. So we used to eat fish, and occasionally in 1 week we used to get chicken. So it was for survival. I can't blame them for chicken and fish. So yes, and the weather, as I told you already, the weather was very bizarre. It was very unpredictable. Sometimes we were stuck in the rain. We had a camera, and we are just recording, and it's all humid. It's raining, and it's all sunny at the same time. And we are sweating from inside the raincoat, and from outside it's all rainy, and it's all getting humid, and we are getting irresistible. But yes, we were there. So pretty much our life was between the coffee and the sleeping bags, because I told you that I am a night person. So in the morning I used to wake up at 3:30. I used to make me a hard cup of black coffee, and then it just sometimes it burned my tongue. So yeah, it was, even if it was not the coffee, it was the heat of it which woke me up. Yeah, with a shock every day. So, and in the night it was the sleeping bags. So our life was like, in the morning we had the coffee, in the night we had the sleeping bags. And in my life I never want to sleep in a sleeping bag again, because it was a very very bizarre experience. So yeah, and into the field it was, you can imagine it like, it's not like, I think yeah, all of you must have watched so many documentaries on, because you are in this conference, so you must have watched documentaries about primate fields. But it was not the field you desire for, because on if I refer it, you think about Cayo Santiago Island, it's all pretty set up. It's, there are good houses, you have mattresses, and you have all necessities there. But when you go to a field like Great Nicobar Islands, oh no, you don't want to be there unless you are very much flexible, very much adaptable. It's like you live the survival of the fittest there, like like Darwin said. So if you need to live the survival of the fittest, you need to have that adaptability, that flexibility, that plasticity, that notion that you can do anything, and the determination. It is much well needed in the field, because every day you go to some kind of personal stresses, because there might be something wrong at your home and you're not able to reach there. Because it happened to me when I was on the field. There was something wrong uh, with my home, and I was not able to get out of it, because to catch a ship out of the island, you must book the ship 15 days prior to your journey, because it's very unpredictable there, because the sea is crazy, and you have to cross the 0 degree channel. And from, if you catch a ship from mainland India to the Great Nicobar Islands, it would take you around 3 to 4 days when the ship is when the weather is good. Otherwise, it could take you a week just onto the ship. Yeah. So things were like that. And yes, we were pretty bored there, because uh, for the first week it was very good. Yes, we were exploring the new food. Yes, we were very adventurous. But after that, we got bored of that food. We got bored of the thing that we don't have internet. Because before going there, we were having a high-speed Wi-Fi at our home. We were browsing YouTube and other website we wanted to. But the field snatched it from us. So we were nowhere. We were not able to satisfy our need, because when you get used to some things, then it is very hard to get yourself apart from it. And the field does it to you, so you get bored. So what was our escape? We used to talk to people. So personally, me, I love talking to people, because I love to get that cultural reference, what they give, what they have experienced in their life. I don't mind how old they are, but yes, because we all have our cultural differences, so it's good. For me, it is good to talk to people. So I used to talk to people. I met pretty great people there. So yes, that was our escapism, and the other escapism was, apologies, the other escapism was nature, because it was so beautiful there, but it was also very boring at that time. I should tell you this, because I don't know, as beautiful it gets, it starts haunting you after a while when you are alone in the field. And because there were instances in the field, there were sorry, and there were times in the field when I was all alone there, because I was the research assistant there, and sometimes my principal investigator has to walk out of the field and go to the mainland, and I was all alone there, and there was no one to talk to. After work, I used to spend, then I counted it. I used to spend more time on the field. I used to observe monkeys there in the night, what they do in the night. So I got a pretty interesting fact that when it is a full moon and it's all bright and you can see everything, the monkeys used to come out of their family tree and they used to steal the coconut, because in the morning uh, all all the farmers were guarding their harvest, but in the night they used to come out and they used to sneak a peek uh, into that coconut harvest. So I was actually talking to a farmer there, and he was walking in night guarding the field. So I asked, why are you here? Why are you not sleeping? So he told me this story that the monkeys has this tendency, and they somehow they know that yeah. So it's just like morning, like, so we can go out, we can have some food, because I think they are also experimental like us. So yes, you get one way or another. So talking about all that, but what we had, we finally did it. We achieved that what we were there for. So yes, finally did it apart from all the things. So this was my experience of the Great Nicobar Islands. I guess there is one more story that one day we were riding the bike, and I was riding the bike, and behind me Diksha was sitting, and we got hit by a big pig. It was a very big wild boar, I should say. It was a wild boar. It came out of nowhere. It hit our bike, and the road was very slippery, and um, we got wounded pretty bad. So I had a mark here. It was pretty bad in my face and on my knees. So yes, so for 10 days we were not able to walk. So we got hurt pretty bad. So this is what happened in the field. So I think I was not upset about it because I signed up for it, and I was actually liking it because, see, you are on an island and you are getting all happy, and after 4 months, and you go back to your place and you think, what different happened? It was nothing. So it was like a good experience for me, even if I got hit by a wild boar on my bike. So it was good. So this was all for my Nicobar experience. So let me. Should I continue with the other section of my presentation? Let me.
So we have until 1:30. So it's up to you if you want to take questions at some point or if you would rather,
Exactly.
keep
Yeah.
talking
If
about your
you.
experiences.
Yeah. Exactly. If no, I have pretty much talked all about my experience, because the talk never gets over if you talk about your experiences. So let's stick to this part. Okay. I have told you the crux. So if anybody has any question about related to all this which I have explained right now, so is there anybody?
You're welcome to post questions in the chat and I'm happy to pose them for you. If you want to raise your hand, I'll unmute. I see one right here. Working on getting you unmuted, Kelsey.
I was curious about like I loved hearing about how the solution to the macaques, like taking the coconut, was to kind of like plant their own plantation. So I was curious, like, did there ever come a point where, like, I mean, obviously they don't know, like, this one's for them, this one's for the humans. So
Exactly.
did it alleviate like enough of like the resources that they kind of like macaques and the humans like were able to like be okay with sharing? And I was also curious, like, when do the farmers like harvest the coconuts? Like, do we want them more like when they're more mature? And so is there a problem with the macaques coming in trying to get the immature ones? So if you could just maybe explain more of
Yeah,
that, I'd love
exactly.
to know.
Let me make this very simple for you. It's like a mutual understanding, because, see, they don't speak the same language, so they have to explain it from the gestures. So the guards, so on one side of the road, which is close to the forest, it's planted for the macaques, and on the other side of the road, which is close with the people settled there, it's for the humans. So obviously the macaques didn't know it, but they showed it. The humans showed it by protecting, just guarding just the area which they were concerned with. And so it was an imaginary line that side of your road is yours and this one's ours. So yes, so this was the understanding. So it was not hard, yeah. And harvesting coconut is pretty hard, because for harvesting it you have to climb on each tree, and there were 1,000 trees per 50 meters. I guess per 50 meters you have 1,000 trees. If 50 by 50 meters, if you make a square of it, you have 1,000 trees in it. So it was pretty hard to harvest. So yeah, they had to do it, I guess, because they had to come on to a mutual understanding just to survive. Yeah. Was I clear to you? Did that make sense? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it did. Yes, thank you so much. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your question. Anybody else is there?
Are there other questions in the group? Again, you can raise your hand. I don't know if you know about how. If you go to the reactions with the smiley face and the plus sign, you can raise it there, or you can. Oh, I got another one. Where do you want to conduct your next research project?
Uh, I would like to conduct it in India, because let me tell you this. In India, we have 126 non-human and non-human primate species. If you know about it, 126. We are a very rich biodiversity in terms of primates. So especially the non-human primates, we have the Hanuman langurs, we have the talk macaques, we have we have nearly 50 species of different macaques, and we have the proboscis monkeys and all. Uh, and compared to other countries, I guess India is a little bit, I guess, not. I'm saying this on an international platform, so I should look for my tongue, because yes, I guess more, let me rephrase it, more things needed to be done in terms of behavioral study, because yes, a lot of primate research is going on, because it is all concerned with the lab work. It's all about taking samples and all, but working in a lab, you have things in control, because you can understand how a cell might work, how a chemical might affect the cell, and how the chemical combinations work. But in the field, it's bizarre, because you are already handling the culture shock. You're already struggling with your things, and the adaptability and the flexibility doesn't work too well, because not every person is same. Like if I'm very comfortable in the field, you might not be. You might not like the food. You might starve yourself because you just not like the food. Some people are like that. So it is very hard to conduct a behavioral study, and that is why I guess more things needed to be done. So I would like to work in India, yeah, but see, I would like to work anywhere in the world, but at last I want to settle down in India, because I just want to make the difference, I guess. If there is one person whom I could encourage to conduct a study in India, because a lot of foreign institutions are conducting researches in India, because we are so rich in primate diversity, and Indian institutions are not so working forward to it. So I guess I would like to work in India. I want to work in India, actually.
And then someone else posed the question, are the macaques endemic to the island? And if not, how did they get there?
Yeah, exactly. They are endemic to the island. It is an endemic species. So although a lot of morphology and the genetic material, it is a kind of long-tailed macaque species. So yes, they are endemic. So if you type Google for the long-tailed macaques, you get a picture of crab-eating macaques. So they both are from the same line of evolution, but yeah, they are different species, but not so different to be called a different species. You get me right.
Sure.
So will you please ask the person who asked the question that if I was clear, if they are satisfied with my answer?
Yeah, I'll get some feedback on that. And while oh, yes, you were.
Yeah, thank you.
And someone else posed the question, are there any other primate species that you would be interested in working with?
I'm pretty much interested in all kind of primate species, talking of primates specifically, along with humans, because see, nothing surprises me more than a human being. Because see, in your life, you hear people saying, oh my God, you did like that, I never expected it. Oh my God, you work like you did this. No, you'll get this idea from what I'll explain in my research project. So you'll get the idea. Yes, I would like to work with any primate species because I just love to work, I guess. I guess because I think my personality goes with this thing. So yeah, I guess.
And in the future, I remember I spoke with you a bit about this. Something you're interested in looking into is sociality of primates. Is that correct?
Oh, sociality. Yeah, that is what I'm going to explain in my next section. So, uh, should I move forward with it?
Let me check on timing.
Please.
One moment. I think we've got about 10 minutes left in this session, if that's okay. Do you think that that's enough time to continue forward?
Yeah, 10 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
10
I think
minutes
we have
would.
till 1:30. Okay,
Yeah, 10 minutes would be just fine. Yeah.
awesome.
So it's already 50 minutes. Oh my God, I'm speaking for 50 minutes. I didn't even realize. Sorry. You guys didn't get bored, I guess. Yeah. So the idea. So let me keep this simple for you. Behavior gets all confusing because it has a web of mechanisms working toward it. So we often hear things like good behaviors and bad behaviors. What are good behaviors which contribute to the greater good, and what are bad behaviors? You are selfish and you think about just yourself and all. We hear these things on our lives. So to be in a social structure, you need to behave. You need to behave in order to maintain that social structure, because a social structure is formed to run things smoothly. If things won't run smoothly in a social structure, things will go to chaos and there will be genocides and warfare and whatnot. So to stay in a social structure, you need to behave according to society. So yeah, so like we see this in humans, we are grown up with some values and morals, same in a primate society. So specifically talking about the macaque society, you need to act in a specific manner to get recognized, to stay in the group, to survive in the group. So just to counter the situations, you have to counter the situation. Along with it, you have to maintain your alliances, you have to maintain your position in the group, and you have to maintain your stress levels. So just because we are having that difficulty in understanding the behavior studies, just because we don't speak same languages. Macaques and humans don't speak same languages. That's why we are not able to understand. We have to speculate things from their behavior. So yes, so that was my idea. That was the initial point of my idea. Why to behave? Why should we behave? Why should I can go on behaving whatever, like things are going in the society? People are thriving on their ideas that I want to behave like this. You should give me my equality and my equity and the things like that. But yes, that's a different thing. That's a thing of freedom. But when we strictly think in survival sense, we have that sense of survival. You have to act and behave in certain way to survive, to reproduce, like Darwin said. So there we see pro-sociality. Pro-sociality basically means that when you do things for the greater good, it's pro-social, and when you don't, when you get all selfish, it's selfish nature. So my emphasis for if I get to work on it, so pro-sociality has the three basic forms: that pro-social behavior, which includes benefiting others; the cooperation, working towards a common goals, when a group work towards a common goal; and altruism is sacrificing self. So let me make this clear to you. The pro-social behavior, which means benefiting others, and the altruism, which means sacrificing self, these are pretty different things. The pro-social behavior means benefiting others with or without sacrificing the self. But when sacrificing self comes into action, it is the altruism. So I guess this is clear. So let me move on to the next slide. So yeah, so there are basically two types of influences which we see in the pro-social behaviors. First is the proximate influence, and the second is the ultimate influence. So proximate influence, that you get the result of an action instantly, like you give somebody the money and they gave you something for that, and or you did good to somebody else and they reciprocated it. So it's basically the mechanism behind empathy and the cooperating breeding and the inequity. Inequity could be advantageous or disadvantageous both. So yes, the proximate and ultimate influences, don't go too much into the words because it might be not a topic which you study on a daily basis. So it's pretty complex. So let me keep this simple for you. So we have a demarcation, the proximate and the ultimate influences. The ultimate influences get in action after a very long period of time. Like if I did an action today, and after 10 years I get the consequence of that action. So that is an example of an ultimate influence. That's why we make kinship ties, because it's for the future reference. We have reciprocity, it's for the future reference. So yeah, I think I made myself clear there. So reciprocity is not a actually essential form of altruism. It is not actually very a necessity for it, but yes, as I told you earlier, it is a web of connection, because the behavior comes into action when a lot of mechanisms are working together to display a certain kind of behavior. So yes, so and to explain and to observe such kind of behaviors, pro-social choice tests are there. I guess everybody knows about the reciprocity and the Wall Street protest test, what Franz de Waal explained in the Black Cap Capuchins, the pillars of morality. Guys, it was a pretty viral video in primatology. Guys must be knowing about it. So let me let me explain it a little further. So in a society, just keep this thought in strictly a behavioral sense. And so why to fit in? Why to fit in? By displaying a behavior. And there you come to how to fit in, by displaying a behavior, because you need to fit in order to be the fit, to fit, to survive, and to survive, to reproduce, and to reproduce, you give your genes to the next generation. So all it comes about the survival. So behavior has the inline mechanisms which is associated with the survival thing. And in a primate society, in a non-human primate society who lives in a complex social structures like rhesus macaques, and in human society, you need not to be biologically fit only, you need to be socially fit. And by socially, I mean behaviorally fit. You need to act in a certain kind of behavior to be fit in society. And in biology, you need to be fertile, I guess. So yeah, biological fitness is concerned with that. So yeah, I think I made myself clear here. Yes. So yeah, this is the last slide, I guess, for my presentation. So for my, it is very hard to pursue something related to the behavior behind the pro-sociality, because it takes an interdisciplinary approach. Like if you go into definitions of pro-sociality and the pro-social behavior, you get Immanuel Kant, you get Plato, you get Machiavelli, you get all those philosophers. And when you come to the other discipline, you get psychologists explaining different kinds of behavior, and they have different mechanisms and psychological explanations for that. Then you come to anthropology and you connect at things holistically, as I said. And then the most the most extensive field which is explaining all of it is the neuroscience, which is thriving, which is shattering all the previous beliefs, I guess. So my study will, if I get to work on it, it will it will be needed to work on these four disciplines specifically. So yeah, the road so far, if people get the reference, they can let me know in the chat box. So actually, let me tell you this, it's from the Supernatural TV series. Yeah, it was the episode there. Yeah, the road so far. So yes, so that was the last slide, I guess. And thank you, thank you. I would like to thank my PI, my volunteers, my close friend Deeksha, and I would like to thank Courtney for making things very simple for you. I would like to thank Ashton for being so connected, and let me tell you this. This is the first conference of my life. I never presented in a conference. This was the first conference. So yeah, this is great. This is great. So yes, thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Aston. Thank you, Central Washington University, and thank you to all the listeners that you listen. You're such a great audience. So yeah, now we are here. The
Thank you
Q&A.
so much for giving us all this information. It's definitely made me not reconsider the field, just understand a bit more. I know the complexities of the challenges you face, the limitations, and sometimes the boredom and loneliness. So I think that's really important for us all to be able to reflect on. Again, we're open to questions. If anybody has any, you're welcome to raise your hand and then we can unmute you to ask Nirmal yourself, or if you want to enter them in the chat, you're welcome to. But we really appreciate having you here today, Nirmal.
Yeah, thank you so much. I let me share this with you because I never intended to make this a very difficult session. I just wanted to make sure that I leave people with a nostalgia of thoughts that after my session, I just want people to think at things differently, like how different things could be if you just change your perspective. Like if you read a book too much, you might think that, oh my God, this is the best thought. But the best with the thought is that you are getting biased with the thought. When you read another book and you compare that book with the other book you read, that is the biases. That are the biases. So I think in academia and specifically in primatology, we need to get out of the biases, because I was reading one paper by Sarah Blaffer Hardy, and she was deconstructing the primatology field, and she was actually explaining that how a lot of women in the primatological studies explained the reproductive success of male behaviors and reproductive success of female behaviors, that male individuals are going on just a spree just in order to impregnate as many females as they can, and that is their reproductive success. And there came another group of primatologists after a decade who who shattered this idea, because they showed it as the females were biases, because because it's their thing to look at males like that. So you applied that biases on this study. I don't know what is true, what is not, but it's like it was a good paper to read about, because it was actually giving me a good insight how like histories could be manipulative. Yeah, you can't just believe on whatever you read in a paper or in a book. So you just need to give it a thought and look at things differently. So yes, I think I'm speaking too much. I'm off my time.
That's okay. No, I think critically thinking is something, as a student teacher, I've had a lot of experience trying to allow students to think about what they're reading and ask questions about it and critique it. And a lot of times they're like, I didn't have any critiques. And it's like, well, let's find some. It's always important to be asking questions and getting new perspectives. So it's very important. I appreciate that input.
Mm. I think I was pretty clear. Nobody is confused and what they would like to ask, because I think I was pretty clear from the beginning. So nobody is confused and nobody wants to ask anything. Is anybody? And I wanted this to be a discussion, but yeah, I don't know. I would like people to contribute to, if anything you want to ask, anything you want to talk about in this Q&A, you can ask about it. any random thought going into your mind about monkeys, about my experience there, how I see things, or how you see things, how you see me presenting here? You can tell me that. You can give a good feedback, I guess. So, is there anybody?
Nirmal, I just wanted to say that it's really great to be able to hear from you. I love that this was your first conference to speak at. And it's great to hear what it's like to be in a country and doing the research in your home country. I think that that's really awesome. And kind of getting to hear your experiences is something that's super enlightening. And I think that we all don't have questions just because you did cover so much so well. And it's really just nice to hear your perspective and your experiences throughout it all. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ashton, for that. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, nobody's there to ask anything. I can wait for some time.
So you all are welcome to stay on and ask Nirmal any questions that you have. I will be popping on over to a video session, and so I will be showing the Langer project video. It's about 15 minutes long, and then we will have our next in-person virtual speaker, kind of in-person live speaker at 2 p.m. Pacific. So in 30 minutes, be prepared for that, but also pop on over to the video if you would like to watch it. Thank you, Nirmal. You're welcome to stay on.
Yeah, sure. How many people do we have here?
We had over 50 earlier. I think some people have signed out to go over to the video session.
50 people and not even a curious mind. I want people to say, I really want them to say something, because curiosity is like, you should be curious about things. I'm very curious. So I think we can end it, because you should prepare for the next session. Give it a last call, Courtney, I guess. You should give it a last call if anybody
That
wants to
sounds
ask.
good. I'll keep an eye on the chat. The saying curiosity killed the cat, and then what is it? Something brought him back. Do you know the end of that?
Yeah, exactly. I was not very good with that proverb. I just mentioned it because I remembered it. So yeah.
No, it's great. There's an end to it somewhere. But satisfaction brought it back is what it is. So it was curious. He died because he got too curious, and then he was happy with the answers he found, so he came back to life, which is pretty cool.